Christmas Eve, 2002. A pregnant woman vanishes without a trace. Her husband smiles for the cameras, while secretly planning her funeral. This is the bone-chilling case of Scott and Laci Peterson, a story so twisted, you won't believe it's real. Laci Peterson was 27 years old, 8 months pregnant with baby Connor, and the picture of a happy wife. But on December 24th, her perfect life became a nightmare. When Scott Peterson reported her missing, something felt off. The dog leash was too clean. His story kept changing. And while volunteers searched for Laci, Scott was already telling his mistress this would be his first Christmas alone. Want more shocking cases where husbands became killers? We expose new true crime stories every 3 days. Smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the truth deserves to be heard. But what Scott didn't know. The ocean was about to give up his darkest secret. December 24th, 2002. The day Christmas turned to horror in Modesto, California. Laci Peterson, 8 months pregnant, vanished without a struggle. But the clues left behind would expose a killer hiding in plain sight. 10:08 a.m., Laci's last phone call to her mother. She promised to wrap gifts before their family gathering. 1:30 p.m., neighbor Karen Servas finds Laci's dog Mackenzie wandering alone, leash still attached. Paws suspiciously clean, no mud from the park Scott claimed she visited. 4:30 p.m., Scott finally calls police, after bleaching his hair, loading his truck, and creating an alibi. Detectives immediately noticed. Scott's fishing story didn't add up. He claimed to be at Berkeley Marina, 90 miles away, but receipts placed him near home. The missing, pregnant woman hadn't taken her purse, phone, or prenatal vitamins. Security footage showed no sign of Laci at the park Scott described. While search parties combed Modesto, Scott was whispering to massage therapist Amber Frey, "I lost my wife. This is my first Christmas alone." Chilling words, spoken while Laci was still officially just missing. Then came the bombshell. Scott had Googled water currents and boat weights weeks before Laci vanished. The same weights later found in San Francisco Bay. But Scott's deadliest mistake? Underestimating what the tides would bring back. December 24th, 2002, while families celebrated Christmas, a pregnant woman vanished without struggle. But the crime scene didn't add up. No forced entry. No screams. Just one suspiciously calm husband. 10:08 a.m., Laci's last call to mom. She promised to finish wrapping Connor's baby clothes. 1:30 p.m., neighbor finds Laci's golden retriever Mackenzie. Here's what didn't make sense. Leash still clipped, but no mud on paws. Food half prepared on kitchen counter. TV left on Christmas music. 4:30 p.m., Scott finally calls police, after bleaching his hair and loading his truck. Scott claimed Laci went walking at East La Loma Park. But security cameras showed no pregnant woman that morning. Her favorite walking shoes were still home. She left without purse, phone, or prenatal vitamins. Meanwhile, Scott was smiling in TV interviews. Selling Laci's car within days. Measuring his boat's storage space. Detectives found a homemade cement anchor matching weights later found in bay. Boat receipts dated weeks before disappearance. Google searches for San Francisco tides on December 8th. Most damning. His alibi changed 3 times about what he was fishing for. Where exactly he docked. Why he needed a sudden solo trip. But Scott's arrogance would be his downfall. Because while he played grieving husband, the Pacific Ocean was preserving his darkest secret. April 14, 2003, 4 months after Laci vanished, a fisherman spotted something bobbing near Point Isabel. What washed ashore would shatter Scott Peterson's web of lies forever. A tiny, fully formed baby boy, still attached to his umbilical cord. Forensic testing confirmed, this was Connor Peterson. The location? Just 3 miles from where Scott claimed to be fishing on Christmas Eve. Then, the nightmare deepened. 1 day later, a headless female torso washed up nearby. Dental records revealed the horrifying truth. The body was Laci's, identified through bone fractures matching her medical records. She'd been strangled or suffocated. Most chilling. Connor had been cut from her womb, proving this was no random abduction. Autopsy findings exposed Scott's lies. Marine growth on the bodies matched exactly to Scott's alleged fishing spot. Concrete anchors found in his warehouse matched debris near the bodies. Boat fibers on Laci's skin matched Scott's newly purchased vessel. The timeline was undeniable. Scott dumped their bodies while pretending to fish. As divers recovered more evidence from the bay, Scott was already preparing to run, with dyed hair and $15,000 cash. But the ocean had given up its evidence. And Modesto PD was ready to strike. June 1, 2004, the trial began with a bombshell. Prosecutor Rick DeStaso held up Laci's pregnancy photo and declared, Scott Peterson didn't just kill his wife, he murdered Christmas itself. Key evidence that sealed Scott's fate. Amber Frey's tearful testimony about his lost wife calls. Boat fibers matching Laci's hair found in pliers. The concrete anchors, identical to weights found near the bodies. Most devastating. Scott's own words caught on wiretap, I don't know if I'll ever see my family again, while loading cash and golf clubs to flee. Scott's lawyers tried claiming Satanists kidnapped Laci, with zero evidence. The bodies were planted in the bay, despite marine growth proof. A burglary across the street was connected, disproven by security footage. Their star witness? A mailman who claimed seeing Laci post-disappearance, later proven unreliable. After just 7 hours of deliberation, the verdict. Guilty of first-degree murder for Laci. Guilty of second-degree murder for Connor. Courtroom cameras caught Scott's mother collapsing while Laci's family wept. His sentence? Death row at San Quentin, where he remains today. 20 years later, Scott still claims innocence. But as one juror told CNN, the ocean gave us the truth, and the truth doesn't lie. The prison gates closed behind Scott Peterson in 2005, but for Laci's family, the real-life sentence was just beginning. This is the devastating aftermath no true crime show will tell you. Laci's mother Sharon Rocha became the voice no killer could silence. She testified at every parole hearing, 2009, 2012, 2020. Published the book For Laci, exposing Scott's lies. Kept Connor's nursery intact for years. In a 2022 interview, she confessed, some mornings, I still expect to hear Laci's laugh in the kitchen. Laci's Law, 2004, changed American justice forever. Created Federal Unborn Victims of Violence Act. Made killing a pregnant woman equals double homicide. Inspired 38 states to pass similar laws. Her case also revolutionized spousal murder investigations. Digital forensics in missing persons cases. Media protocols for high-profile trials. San Quentin's most notorious inmate. 2022, death sentence overturned, retrial pending. 2023, caught with cell phone smuggling scheme. Still claims innocence in rare interviews. Meanwhile, Amber Frey rebuilt her life as a best-selling author, victims' rights advocate, certified addiction specialist. Every Christmas Eve, strangers still leave flowers at Laci's memorial. Because true justice isn't just punishment, it's making sure no one forgets her name. Scott Peterson thought he could outsmart everyone, but you helped expose the truth. Now, we need your voice to keep fighting for justice like Laci's. Here's how you can make a difference today. Smash that subscribe button. We drop new true crime deep dives every 3 days, exposing killers who thought they'd never get caught. Turn on notifications. Next week's case. A husband who faked his wife's suicide, until her text messages exposed him. You won't want to miss it. Comment "Justice" below, show Laci's family the world hasn't moved on. Share this video with #Justice for Laci, let's trend her name again in 2024. Tag someone who needs to see this story. Because the scariest killers aren't strangers, they're the men sleeping next to you. We'll keep investigating. You keep demanding justice. Ready for the next case? Hit play now, and remember, Laci's voice was stolen. Yours wasn't. Use it.